Especially when you bear in mind the fact that we've got Malki Kawa coming up, loser manager.
Stop. He's waiting to get on the show.
Good.
Jesus.
Malki, I thought we were brothers. I thought we had a friendship.
Am I unmuted?
Now Malki Kawa.
Malki, go ahead.
He's on the show. Here we go. Let's do it.
First off, somebody told me the other day the best way to deal with dummies is to compliment, criticize, compliment. So, Mike, yes, you and I go way back. We're cool. I've always been cool. Shut the up and fight Yoel. And, congratulations on being the champion. Did I do a good job, Louis? I'm not really sure if that's how it's supposed to go.
Well, you know what people always say to me is best not to argue with dummies because from a distance, people can't tell which is which. And so I'm not going to argue with you. Listen, I don't give a about Yoel Romero. You think he scares me one little bit? He doesn't scare me at all, buddy. I fought the best people in the world. Hold on. I'd like to challenge you to some of the lies that you were saying on the subpar Luke Thomas show the other day. You were saying, hold on, quiet. It's my show. Shut up. You were saying that I turned down Yoel. You were saying that I picked the fight against Dan Henderson. Picked the fight against Dan Henderson to be in London so that Yoel couldn't be there because he has passport issues. How on earth would I know about Yoel's passport issues? I don't know anything about this guy or his personal life. And please tell me your sources. Please tell me your sources. Go ahead because you are lying.
Let's get right. No, first off, number one, I'm not lying. Number two, the reason why I jumped on that show was because you decided to call me Yoel's idiot manager, and you called me a scumbag on top of it, which I thought was pretty interesting, considering you've got nothing factual to back that up. But anyway, listen, Mike, you and I have always gone back and forth with Jod forever. This is the bottom line. Are you sitting here telling your listeners, the few people that right now, tune in constantly because they like you, they're your fans, whatever it is, that you've never turned down a fight with Yoel Romero? So Dana White himself is lying to me. So 2 times they've offered you that fight, and 2 times you turned it down. That's
No, I'll tell you, hold on, you asked a question, let me give you an answer. And this is the actual truth. I have been offered, he approached me via text message about a fight with Yoel on April 8th. I said, I can't, I'm having knee surgery. I said, as soon as I've healed up, probably in May, then we can do the fight, but I need to have surgery. There you go. I said, Dana, I told you about it at UFC 207. If anybody watched the pre-fight show and the post-fight show, I was working that show for Fox. I told Dana then I needed surgery because that was the day that I found out from my surgeon when he looked at me. And anyway, that must have slipped his mind because he's a busy man. He offered me the fight with Yoel on April 8th. I said, Dana, as I said, I've got to have surgery. It's scheduled for in a few days. He said, okay. There has never been a bout agreement sent. There's certainly never been 2 fights offered. So on that basis, you are incorrect, Malki Kawa.
I spoke to Dana White last night, and he flat out told me.
Funny, so did I. So did I. Go on, so what did he tell you last night?
He told me he offered you the fight. The bottom line, he offered you the fight, and you want no part of Yoel Romero. Okay, you're holding out for TSP. Listen, here's the thing, Mike. Listen, I'm going to say it like this. If you listen to Luke's show last week when I was on, I flat out said, listen, I don't blame you.
I didn't listen to it. I have better things to do.
Listen, great. I said, just so you can, know what I said. I said, listen, if I was Michael Bisping's manager and I was managing him, we'd be doing the same thing. We'd be looking for the George St. Pierre fight. I don't manage either one of them. Don't want to manage either one of them. I represent Yoel Romero. At the end of the day, Yoel Romero deserves this title shot. Michael Bisping continues to come out and say that he's done this and the steroid bullshit stuff and all these excuses that Mike makes. He's been offered the fight. He's turned the fight down. We're sitting here looking for this fight. And at the end of the day, you can't blame me as his scumbag, idiotic manager for looking for the fight, and I can't blame you for looking for the George St. Pierre fight.
Do you guys mind if I...
Hold on, Malki, listen. For all the insults that I say, it's just joking, and you know that. It's called busting balls, and you know that. But listen,
I'm with you.
I get it. Listen, you're his manager, and you're trying to do right by him, and you're trying to get him the big fights. That's all well and good. That's what you should be doing, okay? I'm telling you right now, I have never turned down a fight. He offered a fight on April 8th, and I said I can't do that because of my surgery. I didn't say I won't take the fight. I said I just can't do it April 8th. And that was the last dialogue regarding Yoel Romero that I've had with Dana White. And we can call him right now and get him on the show because I can show you the text messages. I will put them on Facebook.
Let's do it because Dana says he wants that fight to happen. So let's make that fight happen.
Wait, can I?
Listen,
let me play a middle party right here for a second. 1 second.
Go ahead, Lewis. Go ahead.
Can you guys here? I'm just a fan, right? I don't know, but I'm sitting here in the middle going, guys. Obviously, Dana White is firing both of you up. Dana White's job is to create this type of environment where everyone's ready to fight each other.
Dana isn't firing me up. Nobody fires me up.
All.
You know, listen, I'm the champion of the world. I'm the champion of the world. I'm the one with options, okay? I'm not on a level playing field with Yoel Romero. I'm the champ, Malki. I call the shots. And it's like I said on Twitter, until then he's my little bitch, right? I call the shots. I'll fight whoever I want. Now I'll take on the #1 contender. But your boy, your guy, your client does have a history with performance-enhancing drugs, Malki. That concerns me.
That's bullshit. Listen, but
so he didn't serve a suspension recently? He wasn't suspended for 6 months?
Michael,
was he suspended for 6 months?
Let's call a spade a spade. You can call the same Dana White that you talked to about getting the fight, and he himself will tell you, listen, the man was not cheating. He wasn't taking performance-enhancing drugs. He's never failed the test in the UFC except for that one.
Okay, if that's the case, then why did he serve a 6-month suspension? Why wasn't it completely exonerated like Cyborg just got?
Because they don't. Because they listen. They like who? They don't. They do not. What do you call it? Let anyone off the hook. Okay. If not, every single I's been dotted and every T's was crossed. And also remember, Yoel. Michael. When we were in the talks with USADA, their whole thing was, well, we got to make an example out of somebody. And at the end of the day, this is the situation with Yoel. And the problem was they wanted way more than 6 months. All right, we were able to negotiate it down to 6 months without going to the thing. Listen, do you think John Jones was cheating? I mean, I'm just asking, is every single person you think is cheating? And then you started saying in these comments they're not cheaters. But I
don't know. Hey, listen. Hey, Malki, the issue isn't with me there, buddy. If you've got such an issue with USADA because your clients seem to repetitively fail drug tests, perhaps you need to bring a lawsuit against USADA, because all I'm doing, I'm reading the facts, buddy. I'm just reading the facts. Your guy, John Jones, listen, I like John. I'm a big fan of John. But, you brought him up. There's another guy so you're saying that USADA have cost him his reputation. They've tarnished his reputation. They've tarnished Yoel Romero's reputation. Well, where's your lawsuit against USADA? Have you filed a lawsuit for defamation of character? Because that certainly sounds like what you're talking about. And if you haven't done that, then you, my friend, are full of
No, my friend, you're wrong. First off, number one,
I feel like I just put a really good argument forward there.
Listen, Michael, let me tell you something. You've got a responsibility to your listeners to at least give them the facts.
Hey, the facts are this. I'll tell you the facts. The facts are I've never turned down an opponent. I didn't say no to Yoel Romero, and don't you worry, he'll get his shot. When the time's right. I'm still waiting to see what's going to happen. Obviously, there's a fight with GSP floating around. If that gets offered, I'll take it. And if that gets offered,
don't be fake news. Don't be what Donald Trump talks about. Don't be fake news, and just say the truth. Say, guys, look, I was offered the Yoel Romero fight, but the GSP fight probably makes more money for me. That's the fight I want to take. I can respect that. Just don't lie about the PEDs and the bullshit, because at the end of the day, he failed one drug test that USADA said, hey, it was a tainted supplement, and everyone confirmed it. So don't keep jumping on your little steroids. And I'm going to listen, as much as you're the champion, the beautiful thing about this whole thing that I'm realizing, you're not really the guy that's making the calls. I should stop calling you out, and I apologize. I'm going to start calling George, because he doesn't have the belt, and he's the one who realistically has to pick you. If he doesn't pick you, you're fighting.
Hey, listen, I do call the shots. I do call the shots. Let's just have that right, Malki. Let's just have that just set in stone. I do call the shots. No one has a gun to my head. No one can force me to fight anybody. I was going to call Dana and say, listen, let's set this fight with Yoel up, but I'm kind of interested to see what play that's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I've had my knee surgery. I'm recovering. Whatever fight is offered to me, I'll take. I have never turned down an opponent, and Yoel doesn't scare me. I look at him. Listen, I respect his ability. I respect his explosiveness, his athletic ability, his wrestling, of course, and he's powerful. I don't look at him and think that he's a walk in the park, but I also don't look at him and think of somebody that scares me and gives me nightmares, and somebody that I'm going to do everything in my power to avoid. I've never done that. I've taken all comers throughout my entire career, so I'm not going to do that now. So, I appreciate your how do I word this? I appreciate your quest to get your boy the title shot. Of course, that's what you're supposed to do, and I applaud you for it. But you're absolutely wrong in creating this little charade that I'm doing everything I can, and I'm terrified, and I'm having nightmares about Yoel Romero. Honestly, I don't think about Yoel Romero. I just think of him as another contender, another guy that I'm going to fight. I've had more fights in the history of anybody in the UFC. Why all of a sudden am I going to be terrified of Yoel?
Mike, listen, you're the man. I in no way, shape, or form take anything away from you. I just think that, you're playing it smart, you're playing it safe. I think you want the George fight, and I think that that George might not fight first off, he might not fight till the end of the summer, beginning of the fall. You can get that Yoel Romero fight in there, and if you win that fight, if you win that fight, I don't care what anybody says about you at that point. Fuck it, you're the man. But the reality of it is, he's the number one contender. That fight should have happened in January 21st. You have a knee injury, all of a sudden it popped up. No problem.
No, not all of a sudden, buddy. If you live,
hey, buddy, this was a 2-week recovery time. You listen. You know what I mean. You could have been back from this thing. You could have had this thing done in December. You did it now, man. Listen, you played this thing beautifully. I got to give it to you. You and the whole team. I mean, it was amazing how you guys did this whole thing. You guys are sideswiping it. Listen, but Mike, look. All I'm saying is the following. Just stop the PED shit and the whole. You're not.
No, I won't. I have a very strong stance against it. I will never stop. You take performance enhancing drugs, then I have zero respect. And if you defend someone, then Malki, I've got to lean towards zero respect as well, because it is a black spot on this beautiful sport that we have, and unfortunately, one day somebody's going to die, and then it'll be taken a lot more seriously. Okay, and until that day, and God forbid that day comes, but until that day comes, then everybody's going to start handling this a lot differently. And if you test positive for performance-enhancing drugs, you should be banned for life and never given the opportunity to fight again. And that's how I feel. And call me wrong, call me an idiot, call me an overreactor, call me whatever you want, but that's how I feel. Nothing will ever change that.
But I agree with you. Mike, listen, I agree with you, but I mean, again, I'm going to explain it to you one last time, because maybe...
No, it's okay, you don't need to. I know what you're going to say. We're boring our listeners.
If somebody was not intentionally cheating, and they took something that...
Yeah, I know, but there's no smoke without fire. I've been tested, one of the most guys in the history of USADA working with the UFC. I've never accidentally failed a test. How does one accidentally fail a test? Because I tell you what, I've never done it. And I'm not the most anal guy regarding what I put in my body. You know what I mean? I'm pretty carefree, to be honest, but I just avoid steroids.
You better be careful.
Funnily enough, I've never failed a test. I don't study the back of everything. I don't do that. I'm not one of those guys. I'm pretty carefree in that regard, but I've never failed a test. Lyoto Machida did the same thing. All you got to do is find a supplement that has some banned substances and then say, oh, no, I didn't know it was in it. It's a tainted supplement.
Michael, we can go back and forth.
On.
We're talking about a real cheater. I would be more than happy to nail him to the cross with you, my friend. But when you talk about guys that are not trying to cheat, that there's real substances.
All right. Well, listen. Fair enough. Well, let's just agree to disagree.
It means
no
it's not
point going
my
round in
client.
circles.
I him the same way.
Listen. I applaud you for doing what you do with your clients. I really do, Malki. And God bless you. And all the best to you and all the best to your team. And I mean that hand on heart. And I ain't ducking your boy. Far from it. In fact, I want to fight him.
All right,
for all that he talks,
Mike,
I want to fight him.
Let's move forward. Let's just move forward. So I can call Dana White right now and say, hey, Mike is saying that you have not offered him this fight. Call him right now to offer him this fight.
Yes!
Right now that I can do that.
Yes, you can. Because I'm not even medically cleared to fight, but call him right now.
Right now, I'm going to call Dana right now and say, hey, I just spent 15 minutes of my life on Michael's show, all right, sitting here going back and forth, and we figured out that you're the reason why he has not accepted.
No, he's not the reason. I haven't been offered the fight. I'm going to
call him and tell him to offer you the fight in writing, and I want to be carbon copied on it. If that's
hey,
okay.
You do whatever you want, big boy.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
Go give it. But accept it, though.
Give him a call.
Listen, by the way, can we talk about something better than this? How's your kid doing, the wrestler?
Yeah, no, he's doing good, buddy. Don't change the subject. Like, stick to the losing battle that you're on.
The fight. I want to talk about something more productive. You got a beautiful family, and your son's going to be a beast of a wrestler at the end of the day. You know what I mean? But you, on the other hand, you don't want to fight Yoel right now. I don't blame you.
Listen, Mike, can I ask Malki a question?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Here's the thing. It's on the same subject, but up top, you kind of both weirdly have you're both kind of agreeing, and then you're both not agreeing, right? Malki, you said, "Hey, if I was your manager, I would do the same thing. If Michael Bisping was out there, or I'm sorry, if George St. Pierre was trying to fight my client, and there's this big multi-million-dollar payday, in the wake, I would probably wait to see what happens with that before I were to give a gentleman who probably doesn't have as much prestige, maybe, technically a more dangerous fight, but doesn't have as much prestige, not as much of a payday attached. From the management perspective, from a promotional standpoint, as a family man, as a human being, I think you could wrap your mind around why Michael would want to do that. So it's not necessary, because Michael has been very clear.
I'm not disagreeing with it. I don't disagree with it. Lewis, listen, I look, dude, listen, I think that I've written a book on how to work some of these fights and some of these UFC decisions and how some of these fights go. Remember, I represent probably more, former UFC champions. I represent Tyron Woodley, current UFC champion, John Jones. I mean, we've been through, through hell and back. I'm not, there's been a lot of decisions that have been made that I've made, some that have been popular, some that have been unpopular, and I get it. My whole thing is this, is that when you tell me you haven't been offered a fight, so all right, let me put it in the same situation. If Yoel Romero,
hey, listen, no, I told you I was offered a fight against Yoel Romero. Hold on, let me bring up the text message.
Hold on, guys. We have 90 seconds before we got a break. 90 seconds.
Well, all right. For the record, Dana spoke to me about fighting April the 8th. He said, "Hey, listen, I'm going to send you a bout agreement April 8th." I said, "Dude, I got to have surgery." And he said, "Yeah, that's right." He said, "In fact," and Dana said, "Let my doctor speak to your doctor to find out when I return." The timetable on the return would be. And Dr. D from the UFC, you must know Dr. D, he contacted my surgeon, Dr. Mora. They went through everything. Went, yeah, there's no way this guy can fight anytime soon. So there you go. That's what happened. That was my last correspondence regarding your boy.
All right, Malki, final thought, real quick, 20 seconds, final thoughts here. Is there any other point that you wanted to make with Mike and your case versus him versus Yoel?
No, he understands that Yoel Romero is a clear-cut number one contender. If it wasn't for that bullshit, I mean, listen, I can understand why he's the USADA champion right now, because if it wasn't for that, the one who would have stepped in to take that fight would have been Yoel, or Yoel right now would be the champion. And guess what?
But he wasn't, was he? He wasn't the guy that stepped in. So you're talking hypothetical bullshit. You're talking hypothetical bull. Hold on. Let's play fantasy. If he wasn't suspended and he would have been the one to fight him, then he would have fought him, and Yoel would be the champion, and we'd all be rich. But that isn't what happened. So cut the bull, Malki. Come on.
All right, gentlemen. I'm so sorry, Malki. I love talking to you, and this is fire right now. I want to keep it going. I'd keep this going for the next hour if we could, but we do got to let you go. We got to take a break here.
Take care, Malki.
When we come back,
tell Yoel to keep taking those whatever it is that milks all those steroids out of his system.
When we
keep
come
taking
back,
them because he's doing a good job.